After about a year and a half of heavy usage, the vent fan in my RV was on its way out, so I decided to replace it. Now this particular model of fan motor is the Ventline or Kinmore VD-0218-00. On Amazon, it was $39, which I didn't want to spend because I felt it burned out too soon for that kind of money, but that's of course the most straightforward part to buy. I opted for this 250 CFM motor by PlusRoc instead, about $16, but because it was larger, it required some modifications including a bracket install. They also give you a selection of several different CFMs, or cubic feet per minute, including a direct replacement motor. I'll get to those options and their differences a bit later. To remove the old motor, first turn the fan off. The screen is removed by pushing the screen, and not the tabs, off of the hooks on the tabs. The fan is removed by sliding it off the shaft. No special tools required, just a steady grip and pulling on the fan's hub. This reveals two Phillips screws. Once those are removed, note which color wire goes where so that you don't accidentally rewire the new motor in reverse. Then remove the leads, which slide off of the prongs and may need some encouragement from a flathead screwdriver. At this point, if you have an identical motor to replace it with, just repeat the procedure in reverse and you'll be finished. For the PlusRoc brand, there are several options, and an option that wasn't even available at the time I made this video. They have 3 CFM selections, and each of those motors is larger than the stock one. They now also have a motor they claim is a direct replacement with the exact same dimensions, rated at 130 CFM. I will say that I tried the larger version of the 130 CFM motor, and it was not as fast as the original Ventline or Kinmore motor, and didn't seem to move nearly as much air. I don't know if that'll be the same case for their newer motor, but if that's not a potential problem for you, that's a great cheaper alternative to the stock motor. Their new smaller motor also appears to have the same round shaft as the original, so the old fan blades should fit, but they do seem to supply new fan blades as well. Now as for all the larger motors, the diameter of the protruding part is much bigger and won't fit the stock opening. The screw hole distance is also larger, so it comes with a bracket. Additionally, the fan shaft is a D shaft instead of a round shaft, so you'll have to use the fan blades they provide. Finally, the electrical connections are different, so you'll have to solder or crimp the wires they provided into your RV. The first thing I had to do was flatten the bracket out. The recommendation for that was to hammer it until flat, which I did by sandwiching it in between 2 concrete pavers and some paper as to not mar it as much. It took a bit of blacksmithing, but I got it flat. A vise would certainly be much more effective here. Afterwards, I mocked it up together with the motor and fan to make sure there was no interference. I marked the holes and used a center punch to get the holes started. I used an 1/8" drill bit for metal. It was a bit awkward to drill these out, but with some perseverance I got it done. I'll also note that while you're drilling, metal shavings will be raining down on you, so it's prudent to wear eye protection while you're doing this. Once I was finished drilling, I cleaned the metal shavings up off the floor using a strong magnet, as well as any that were left on the railing. I cut the old connectors off with a bit of lead still attached to them in case I ever needed them in the future, stripped some sheathing off, slid some heat shrink on the new leads, soldered them to the old wiring, and applied heat to the heat shrink. Next, I used a small wrench and Phillips screwdriver to attach the bracket and used their included screws to attach the motor to the bracket. Once finished, I replaced the screen. To make sure that I installed the polarity correctly, I tested the fan out with a piece of paper. The paper got stuck to the screen, which indicated suction. And there you have it. Although it is louder, with a stronger 250 CFM fan in my kitchen vent, I am very much welcoming its superior capability to remove cooking smoke more effectively than the stock fan. Until next time, thank you for watching.